85% of the global workforce is not engaged or actively disengaged at work. That's a staggering statistic.
Yeah, I suppose in thinking of today's event, I kind of thought back over the last number of months, the last 9 months especially, the change that has happened on that, and tried to summarize it into the kind of the 4 key trends that we're seeing in ActionPoint across our customer base and beyond. And those 4 key areas that jumped out at me, first and foremost, was the technology overload. I think many organizations will put their hand up and say that the remote working was thrown on them. They were never really prepared for it. And a large part of enabling that remote working was throwing technology at the problem, setting up laptops, webcams, setting up VPNs, setting up new software, be it Microsoft Teams or collaboration software, and pushing that out as quickly as possible to their staff. And what I find interesting about that is the surveys that we in ActionPoint have done, including our remote working survey, and many of the other surveys done out there by large industry bodies, would see that there's a real appetite for people to continue remote working, but not in the same vein as it's happening right now, to really change the mode on that, to address some of the key issues above, but also to adopt a new approach in terms of a hybrid approach, maybe 2 to 3 days per week from home. The good news is that My Analytics is available to everyone. If you're using Microsoft 365 today, you have My Analytics. It's not an extra feature or anything like that. It's there available to you right now. And what My Analytics does is it discovers my habits and tries to help me to work smarter. So the 4 key pillars it builds on are around focus, around well-being, around my network, and around how I'm collaborating. So if I look at my focus for me was something that I was really, really bad at in the past. I was guilty of jumping from meeting to meeting, jumping from task to task, reacting on emails instantly. And ultimately, when I got to the end of the week, I realized actually I had very little time to focus on what was important. I had very little time to focus on work. And I found that ended up bleeding into my evenings, bleeding into my weekends. And, my mind was being dominated by work fundamentally. So the very first thing I did was allow focus time to block off 2 hours per day for me. Every single day, that is blocked off in my calendar. No one can take that away from me, and no one can send me a meeting, or people can try and send me meetings, but I'm simply going to say that's my focus time. If I'm a manager and I've got a team of 10 or 20 people, what I really want to be conscious of is who isn't in here. Who am I not collaborating with? Who is maybe missing out on the team? Who haven't I had a phone call with in the last couple of weeks? And are they getting isolated? It's very easy in this remote world that we live in for people to become isolated, to become siloed out. And what my network does is it allows me to see, well, actually, do you know what? I haven't communicated with John in 4 weeks. Do you know what? I'm going to pick up the phone and check in with him, see what's going on. We may not be working on any active project right now, but we still are on the same team. So let me have that piece of interaction.
Have a coffee together and show you care and check in. And also we play tricks with each other sometimes in the call, so bring that element of fun. Just think like you are if you were in work. So it is definitely a mind shift change. Someone that's really quiet that you don't really get to talk to, how are they feeling? Use your chat box in Teams and in meetings, or create a praise channel for winning business or celebrating someone living the values or good news.